Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. We'll get the webinar started here in a few minutes. Hello, everyone. For those that just joined, we're going to give it a few more minutes before getting started with the webinar. Just going to give this a few more minutes. Thanks for everyone's patience this morning. Just going to give it 2 minutes and then we will get going here. Okay, I think we're just past noon Eastern here. Thanks, everyone, for joining. My name is Sirbovan. I'm the president, CEO, and director of ICG Silver and Gold. Really excited today. We're going to do things a little bit differently. We've got a brand new and a different style of presentation. We're using VRIFY Present to highlight some of the major features of this project, and so really excited to walk everybody through it here today. For those that don't know, ICG Silver and Gold is a newly listed public company. We first started trading on March 31st, 2026. We spun out of another public company called American Pacific Mining. Our market cap is around 17, 18 million Canadian today. And we are fully cashed up for our phase one exploration program at the Tuscarora District in Northern Nevada. Since this presentation is a little bit of a different style, I'm just working off of an iPad in front of me here. So if you see me look down, that's what I am doing here. So getting into the project, just very high level before we get into the detailed VRIFY model. And for those that aren't familiar with our story, the Tuscarora District asset is located at the intersection of the Independence and the Carlin Trends in Northern Nevada, about a 45-minute drive northwest of Elko. So we are in a great jurisdiction for mining and exploration. Our 10,000 acre land package sits about 12 kilometers away from the Jarrett Canyon First Majestics project, which is being restarted next year, for which First Majestic is spending 75 million US dollars on restarting that project. We acquired 8,000 acres from American Pacific, and we've staked another 2,000 acres ourselves, bringing the total package to 10,000 acres. We are in pretty close proximity to other projects as well, such as Midas, which is operated by Hecla, as well as the Gold Strike project. A few members of our management team have experience working with Barrick. So for any new investors, really the question is why should you care about ICG, and what's so exciting about this company? Um, for us, there's quite a few different reasons. First of all, there's a clue of past production that just sits off of our property boundary from the Dexter pit, and I'll show you just exactly where that is. 50,000 ounces of gold and 250,000 ounces of silver were produced there in the early 90s. ICG has a 5,000 sample database, which also includes 130 line kilometers of geophysics and 40,000 meters of historical drilling. And so this is what we are bringing to life through VRIFY, and we are visualizing for investors. This database that we have, and I think the numbers stated on this page are quite light, but somewhere between 15 and $20 million this database is worth. And if you're using today's drilling costs to replicate 40,000 meters, it's probably well in excess of $20 million, which is obviously greater than our market cap. So I think all those things here these are all major clues that help us de-risk further exploration in the best mining jurisdiction in the world. In terms of where we are today and where we are heading, we will be completing or starting our phase one exploration program in a few weeks, as previously announced. So that's a 3,000 meter program that we're spending $1.5 million Canadian on, and I'll discuss a few of the targets that we have that are quite exciting. We will continue to consolidate the district, and we are gearing up towards the first mineral resource on this project for Q1 2027. And so that is something, a major milestone that we are working towards. And we'll continue to update the market on some of these items. But for any new shareholders or current ICG shareholders, we believe that we are at the optimal point here of the Lassonde curve, where drilling and exploration is going towards real value creation, real milestones that investors want to see that will be rewarded in this market. Before jumping into the VRIFY model, I'll just highlight just the management team that we have here for those that are new to the story. As mentioned, my name is Steven Sirbovan. My background is in capital markets, having spent 13 years across investor relations, investment banking, and private equity. Spent some time with Waterton Global Resource Management, who back in 2015 was the third largest landholder in all of Nevada. My experiences in raising capital and M&A for generally public companies or going public companies. I've surrounded myself with great people on the technical side of things as well, who have also had major appointments to the C-suite of other companies. Jeff Swinoga being one of them. He's a CPA and MBA. He's been the CEO and on the board of many companies, including First Mining, Torex, Hudbay, Radisson Mining, among others. Corbin McCall is our VP of Exploration. He has quite a few years of experience as a Western U.S. Geologist. He came over to us from American Pacific and is taking an elevated role with us. He's had 3 years of experience at the Tuscarora District itself, which has been incredibly helpful given how we want to continue to consolidate this district and our geological modeling, which he's quite familiar with and has been leading the charge on. Rounding out our team, Will Avery is our CFO, former MNP partner, plenty of go public experience in Canada and the US. Eric Sloan is an independent director with us, previously Chief Revenue Officer of Cboe Canada, which is now being sold to the TMX Group. He's currently leading the revenue function for Global X ETFs, brings plenty of go public and governance experience to the team. And last but not least is Gary Baschuk, over 40 years experience as a geologist and mining analyst. He spent 13 years down in Elko at the Gold Strike project, so really understands the rocks as well as capital markets. We have a technical advisory board of 3 individuals, and they collectively bring 125 years of experience in the Western U.S. And we're very fortunate to have that group. Gary leads the technical advisory committee for us that meets monthly. So getting into the asset a little bit more, so we've got some great aerial shots here to share with you. So this is a shot here looking east towards the Dexter pit, as well as First Majestic's project the Jarrett Canyon, sits past the Independence Mountain Range towards the back. Just flipping to a different slide here for a second. So where the drone was at the time was just over here and looking towards the east. So just flipping back to that, the Dexter Pit. This is an area that is not on our property. It's owned privately, but it's a past producing open pit mine in the early 90s. It was a joint venture between Chevron and Horizons, and it produced 50,000 ounces of gold and 250,000 ounces of silver. It has now been fully reclaimed. However, we do have water access rights through a partnership we've got with the private landowners there. You can see this is as we look towards South Navajo, which is one of our primary areas that will form the foundation of a mineral resource in Q1. When you start to spin around, you can see that we've got plenty of land to work with here. Access roads are in very good quality and in good shape. You can get a rig in here pretty easily. You can traverse these roads here with a pickup truck, and if you really wanted to, you can be out here all year round. You can see that's easy to get drills in here. You've got former old pads as well from previous operators, and so we're going to be spending most of our time here at Battle Mountain, Modoc, and Silica, which is also labeled on here. Our property boundary, as it extends west, extends all the way back through this pass here, and generally in that open area. So again, we've got 10,000 acres here to work with across our full jurisdiction. Moving into some of the other visuals I'm excited to share with you. We've broken the project down into 3 zones, as I've spoken about before: Central, East, and West. Central is the area that we understand the most. It's had the most amount of historical drilling, sampling, as well as geophysics. The South Navajo target is on trend from the Dexter Pit, which is marked by some of the white dots, as you can see in the background. And we'll highlight for you just the extent of the historical drilling there. In our phase 1 exploration program that we have announced publicly, that will be starting in just a few weeks' time, we will be spending most of our time, or actually 80% of our budget, on Silica, Battle Mountain, Modoc, and Kings Vein. And so the purpose of the work that we're going to be doing there, as you'll see, is infill and expansionary drilling of these targets. And so together with South Navajo, that will form the basis of a mineral resource in Q1 of 2027. So the central zone is the backbone of the project. The east zone is incredibly exciting to us as well, and we'll be spending about 20% of our budget here. So East Pediment and Grand Prize. These targets are exciting for a different set of reasons. We do have some historical drilling, sampling, and geophysics here. Some of the historical drilling that got us really excited is at East Pediment. And so Newcrest drilled this target back in 1997. 1.5 meters of 367 grams per ton silver and 52 grams per ton gold. So the soil sampling and the rock chip sampling from the East Pediment and Grand Prize areas are also extremely high. And the geophysics is also telling us that these targets require some modern day exploration. So again, central zone, 80% of our time and effort, backbone of the resource. East zone is certainly the some upside potential and some more silver dominant targets. As I've discussed in previous webinars, we believe that we've got overlapping epithermal systems here, one that is more gold dominant and one that is more silver dominant. The silver dominant one is generally marked above this dashed line, and the gold dominant one is below the dashed line. And so this is a theory that we're continuing to push forward. This project has generally been thought of as really a gold only project, just given the bulk of the work has been done below this line. However, we truly believe that there's some great silver potential on the northeastern part of our project, which is why we are spending some time on that. So really, the theory here and what our plan is with our phase 1 program is we're not just going back to South Navajo and twinning the best holes historically. We really want to show that there is district scale potential to this project, which is backed by the Central Zone at this time. The West Zone is an entirely different system, we believe. It's had a little bit of sampling on it, not so much historical drilling, but represents a very exciting upside potential for the company. And we'll announce plans for the West Zone of the project as the company grows. So let's get into the VRIFY model. And so this is a great tool that really allows us to visualize every single drill hole that's been completed on the project. And so we are focusing right now just looking at South Navajo. And you can see the extent of the historical drilling. The reds and the pinks represent extremely high grade gold, so anything really above 1 gram per ton gold. And the dark colors really just represent the drill collars. You can see throughout the project here that there's drill holes really sprinkled throughout. So when you look at the topographic map here, you can see that this is the Dexter pit over here. You've got South Navajo, which is lies on trend. As we look towards the west, you've got the Modoc target over here. You've got Silica, and then as we spin even more towards the west, this is where you get into the Battle Mountain target. And so I think it's just really important to highlight that we've taken the time as a company to consolidate and compile all of this historical data so that we really know what we're working with across the project. This hasn't been done in the past, partly because this costs time and money to do this, and it hasn't been a focus for operators of the past. But this project is a real focus for us, and as we want to set ourselves up for the most success in a very data-driven environment, it all starts with what's been done in the past. And so for us, we really feel we have a very good handle on this project at this time. And you can just see the extent of the Central Zone drilling here. And even up here, on the East Zone, the East Pediment, the Grand Prize targets have had drilling as well. So any of the drilling that we're doing here is not wildcat. It is not shooting from the hip. Everything that we're doing is backed by data across this entire project. Let's spend a little bit more time on South Navajo, looking at it from a bird's eye view. The strike length is about 1.2 kilometers in total by 325 meters. Going into more depth on this target, it's certainly all the drilling has really been done from surface to about 300 meters. This target has not been tested at depth, and we believe the strike length also continues. You can really start to see how an open pit can start to form here. I mean, you can see the dip of the mineralization as well. We do have quite a good understanding of this target, and so I think for a lot of 20 million market cap companies, this database is extensive, and it clearly shows some sort of continuity. I'll highlight here just some of the best historical intercepts. You can see here 4.6 meters of 127 grams per ton gold. You've got 18 meters of over a gram, 13 just under 14 meters of just under 2.5 grams per ton gold. So what we're seeing here are some very high grade intercepts and veins. Even within those, you're still seeing some wider intervals of still high grade gold. So this is all very encouraging. As we look to the rest of the Central Zone, we're looking at Modoc and Silica. And the colored ellipses here at surface represent some of the best rock chip and soil samples that have been pulled in the past. And so then you can, as we spin the model and look underground, you can see how those overlay with some of the historical drilling. So that's important to show that we're utilizing all of the clues that we possibly can in order to help ourselves and to really start to gain an understanding of these targets. So just showing you another visual here of the East Pediment and Grand Prize targets. We've got a few pads out here, and we will be spending again 20% of our budget on the east zone here, East Pediment and Grand Prize. So just I mentioned all of the clues so far. Really, the CSAMT and the geophysics is just another tool in our toolbox. And so these cross sections were completed by American Pacific back in 2022. The top half of what we're seeing here is been completed on the central zone. And so the MODOK target, for example, has been drilled in the past. Recall 94 meters of zero point 0.4 grams per ton gold. The CSAMT, the geophysics here, is really showing us the resistivity of the rock that's below the surface, and it's giving us a sense of depth. It's not an indicator of gold or silver necessarily, but it's an indicator of host rock that could be hosting mineralization. And so certainly what we're looking to do is drill into as much of the blues and the turquoises as possible on this scale. Modoc looks quite interesting, and it's a shallow target. King's Vein is especially an interesting target. This target has not been drilled before, and certainly it seems like it could be being fed by something at depth. This drill program will not be testing depth. All of our drill holes will really be within 250, 300 meters from surface. So we will test this target for sure and see what we've got there, and then depth we'll look to explore at a later time. The bottom cross section here is on the east zone. As mentioned previously, the East Pediment target was drilled a little bit by Newcrest in 1997. That's where they had the 1.5 meters of 367 grams per ton silver and 52 grams per ton gold. So we'll continue to follow up on that target as well as Grand Prize. Again, both very shallow targets that we're excited to go and test. I haven't spent too much time on the West Zone, really because it's the newest acquisition, and it's the part of the project we understand the least. But there is some major blue sky potential here for the company. It's quite different. The Central and the East zones are more epithermal targets. We believe the West Zone is potentially more of a Carlin style host rock, more bulk tonnage type target. And so what we're looking at here with this aerial shot is the Tuscarora and the Dexter pit just lie back here, and then we're looking east towards the Independence Range, which is just back here. Interesting to note on our property here, this is just some of the rocks here that have clearly been disturbed and moved in the past. This was a past mercury mine, actually. So there's some remnants of various equipment that were there, and certainly having mercury somewhere on the property like this is a good indicator of just how far mineralization can travel. So what we've got out here are the Beard Hill and the Dacite targets. And there's been some sampling out here, but generally as we move towards the west, it has not been sampled yet or drilled. The pink areas here on this slide represent the areas that we recently acquired a few months ago. And so really no work has been done on these areas here. Historically, there has been some sampling completed at Beard Hill and Dacite. As part of our go public, we spent $150,000 on some geophysics. And as a result of that, we've overlaid the rock chip samples at surface from Beard Hill and Dacite with the geophysics that we completed. And why we're so excited about this is because it looks like there's something that's feeding the Dacite and Beard Hill targets. And again, this has not been drilled. But what's also very exciting is the Paleozoic assemblage on the far west here. Again, this hasn't been sampled and hasn't been drilled, but it is potential evidence of Carlin style host rock at surface. And so this is an exciting area for us to follow up on, most likely in a phase 2 program. So just getting into some of the capital markets related items here, just for the group. We're currently trading at about 44 cents. Our market cap is in the 17, 18 million range right now. We went public at 35 cents. As of March 31st, we had 5.5 million of cash on the balance sheets. We've got plenty of capital here to go and complete our phase one exploration program and to get us through to our mineral resource that we've talked about in Q1. We believe we stand out as a result of that from some of our pre-resource peers, as we can get through to a resource very quickly with what we've got. We're obviously looking towards having a resource, and clearly some of our peers here are getting valued quite highly for that. And we believe we can get there too, as long as we meet our timelines and milestones. In terms of the cap table and cap structure, we've got 43 million shares outstanding. We've got 10 million warrants and options, all striking at 50 cents. As a result of the spin-out with American Pacific, we hold 1.1 million APM warrants, meaning holders of American Pacific warrants. If they exercise those, then they'll also receive some ICG shares. However, those are currently out of the money. Fully diluted, 54 million shares outstanding. All things considered, we've traded pretty well out of the gate. We went public at 35 cents, and we've been bouncing around that 45 to 55 cent range for the last few months. So we've got a lot going on. We're really excited to get the drill bit turning here in a few weeks with our phase one program. We're working with Major Drilling, and so the drill will be on site shortly. We'll be providing updates to the market as that takes place. We're expecting assays to start to roll in here in August, and we'll continue to otherwise update the market on our plans for the mineral resource in Q1 of 2027. So I think that really summarizes it here is look, this is an advanced exploration asset. We've really taken the time to understand the full extent of the land package. We've got a lot of work here that we can rely upon. 40,000 meters of drilling is quite a bit, and it's all been very good quality, and we can certainly leverage that for our resource. Sampling and 130 line kilometers of geophysics, 80% coverage across the project is really good. What that means is that the capital that we have is going into the ground, it's going into drilling, and it's going into that resource. And so we think that at this point, given that database, it's worth more than what our market cap is today. So that's the exciting value proposition for new shareholders. So with that, I will look here to the chat room here just to see if there's any questions. Please feel free to post any here, and I can answer those. If there's no questions, anyone can email me at steven@icgsilverandgold.com. Or you can also go through info@icgsilverandgold.com as well. We'll give it a few seconds here to see if anything pops up here from the group. I think we got through it here pretty quickly. Not seeing any questions from anybody, but the presentation that I just ran through, the VRIFY model, is all available on our website, www.icgsilverandgold.com. I encourage you to interact with it and really look at our historical database. We're really excited to push this project forward and complete milestones and get to drilling here in a few weeks. So with no questions here, I think we'll end the webinar at this point. Thanks everyone for joining. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Thanks everyone.